Okay, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Marcel Patschke. I'm the Managing Director of eSolutions Singapore in the Philippines. And yeah, I want to excuse myself a bit in advance. I'm fighting a bit with my throat, so I hope I'm speaking loud enough for you. Today, I will be showing you some of the capabilities of Atlassian Service Management solution, Jira Service Management. In particular, we will be looking at the incident management process. Before we jump in, let me give you a quick introduction of eSolutions. Okay, here in Singapore, we've been in the IT business for almost 20 years now, but we are not just here. We also have teams in the Philippines, in Germany, where our headquarters is based, in Israel, and in Colombia. So basically, we are a global team working closely across time zone to support our customers. eSolution has been an Atlassian partner since 2012. We are both a solution partner, which means we help you to get the most value out of the Atlassian products, but we're also a marketplace partner. So we build and provide add-ons to the Atlassian marketplace. Some of you might have heard of our biggest product there is Requirements, or formerly known as R4J. And while Atlassian is a big focus for us, we also support other platforms like Monday.com. We offer 5 key services in this area. So the first one is consulting. This is where we work with you to align the tools with your specific process. Secondly, it's IT support services. We help you to configure the tools to fit your environment, and we provide both end user and level 3 support. We also do training. So we can either train your users directly, or we equip your internal trainers with a train the trainer class. Fourth is software development. So if you need anything that is not out of the box, we can help you to customize this with plugin development. And finally, licensing. We remind you about your renewals and offer also invoice payment so that you don't need to pay your licenses with a credit card. Now let's take a look at what you really joined this webinar for, incident management. Today, we'll be focusing on 2 key applications. The first and primary one is Jira Service Management. So this is your command center for everything related to service management. And also we are having a look at Compass, which is supporting functionality like incident alerts and on-call schedules. Together, this gives you a complete setup for managing incidents effectively. Jira Service Management, or JSM, is a Atlassian solution for modern IT service management. It helps teams manage requests, incidents, problems, and changes, all in one place. Because it's built on Jira, it's quite flexible and also powerful. But the most important is it integrates with your development operations. Also interesting for some of you maybe is that it is accredited by ITIL to be an ITIL 4 accredited tool. So you can build your tool processes following industry standard practices. Compass is a developer experience platform that brings your distributed software architecture and teams together in a centralized, searchable location. For this webinar, it's not the main star, it's more of the sidekick, because we are focusing only on 2 features of it, which is alerting and on-call schedule. The tools together help you to make sure that your team members are notified promptly during incidents, maintaining system reliability and performance. Then let's have a look at the system. For today, the scenario is the following. So we are looking at Acme Corporation, which is a global company that produces toys. Specifically, we are the platform support team, and we are taking care of systems like the billing engine. So let's see what challenges come today. Okay, what we're seeing here is the help desk, the help center, or the customer form. So in here, this is where one of the ways where your customers can file tickets to you as an IT team. It's only one of the many ways. in lieu of the help center, you can also request tickets by email. You can go through chat like Teams and Slack. And there's also a website widget where you can collect anonymous feedback from your website visitors. So the use case that we're going through today is that our colleague Max, he is starting his work in the morning and he notices that he cannot connect to the billing engine. So he's working from home and he is connected to the VPN. So to help resolve the ticket, he will go to the help center first and file a ticket for IT support. If you look at the help desk here, we have a few categories: common requests, computers, login and an account. And if you're looking at the sub-details, we see that we can report a system problem under common requests. So let's go there. In here, we have a few request types. We don't need a VPN. We don't need a new account. We want to report a system problem. Today, we are Max who's requesting this. And then we provide the details that are important for the IT team to help. So first of all, I'll provide a quick summary. For example, cannot connect to the billing engine. And what you see is that once we provide a summary, the service desk will provide suggested articles based on our knowledge base. So for example, there is if there's a no connection, it can be a VPN troubleshooting. Sometimes they are not so related. It depends on the keywords. But let's have a look at this one. Cisco AnyConnect VPN troubleshooting. The help desk article will open in a new window and will allow the user to review and follow the instructions. In this case, since we know the VPN is working, it's only the billing engine that we cannot connect, we will continue to file a ticket. So we will provide some additional details. I try to log in the morning. VPN works fine, but the billing page doesn't load. Then our affected service is our billing engine. It is very critical for me because I need it to be fixed immediately because I need to send out invoices. And it is a moderate impact because it's only my team. Important here is that the fields that I'm putting here, they are configurable. So this is from a standard template that comes out of the box, but you can add your own fields and your own information that you need. So if I click on send now, this will create a ticket. After a few seconds, once the ticket is created, we come to the customer view of this ticket. So first of all, we see that we have an ID. This is a unique number that identifies your incident. Then we have the details that were provided. And on the right side, I can also share this with other team members of myself. And I see that currently the status is open. Okay, so now let's switch over to the IT team and see what's going on there. The first thing that we will see is that the team does not only need to look at the ticket, at the platform. I have connected Jira Service Management to our Teams channel, and we can see that just a few seconds after I file the ticket, the team getting a notification. So here I get the details, like the summary provided by the user, the priority, the current status, who are the responders, and the description. So this means that without even going to the website yet, I'm just connected to my platform. I can acknowledge the alert and assign it to me. Because I'm currently on shift, so I will work on it. And if any of my colleagues will do the steps first, I will see this immediately as a response here, that somebody will assign or acknowledge the alert. Important here is that Teams is not the only way to get a notification. You can also get notification via phone call, where you can confirm and acknowledge the ticket via the keyboard response. You can get SMS announcements, but also through other chat tools like Slack. Okay, then let's have a look at the alert. Here under the alerts, I have some details about the ticket that is created. It is not yet the actual ticket. This is only the alert that the ticket has been filed. The reason why there's a step between is because the alerts can also come from other sources, but I'll get to this later. So for now, I can see that it is assigned to me because I took it. The status is acknowledged, and I see the details of the ticket and the link to the ticket. I can create another incident here. I can change the priority, and I can add a note. So in a real world scenario, I would do some review now if this is really an incident or not, and then I would take necessary action. Now, because we are just in a quick introduction, I will just close this alert and go to the actual ticket. So to see the tickets, we can also go to our queues. Queues is how the tickets are arranged. So you see here in my project homepage, I have incidents, problems, changes, and I will go to the incident queue and go to all the open incidents. And here you will see that there's a new ticket now, cannot connect to the billing engine, the one that Max just created a few seconds ago. To get to the details, I can click on the summary, where I can see all these things. The detail page consists of several sections. The main view here is the important parts that the user provided. I have the information who provided it, which channel they used, what is the description that they provided. I see the affected service, and important here is I can see a network graph. So first of all, I see what are the dependent solutions for my service. So in this case, our billing service is connected to a payment processing service for the payments. Then also I have a CRM connected, AWS services, and the billing software. I can also see that for our service, there are already some other incidents. I see the exclamation mark, and I can see that currently there are 5 open incidents for the billing service. And I can see all of them and open them from here. The next thing that would be important for me as a service desk agent is to see if there were any changes to the service. For this one, we have the changes on affected services. This one will show any change that was done in a certain time that affects the service. So I don't need to talk to the developers. I don't need to go to their board. I don't need to check their calendar. I can immediately see if there was anything done. And I can see there was a billing engine 2.0 deployment to production. So this might be the root cause. I'm not 100% sure about this yet, but it gives me a way to get started to investigate. On the right side, I see some more information. First, I see the SLAs. Normally, a service desk has to follow SLAs. In our case, we have a time to first response, which is 2 hours, and I have a time to resolution within 12 hours. I see also additional metadata like the assignee currently, the reporter, the type of problem. Similar to what the requesters saw earlier, I see related articles from our knowledge base that I can open here. And also some more information like who are the responders who should respond to the incident and more. Okay. So something that you can see is that the ticket is already assigned, even though nobody was working on it yet. This is something that is done through the on-call shifts. So what you can do is you can configure for each team, you can configure an on-call schedule. So if we look here for the platform support team, we currently have Cassie Owens as the on-call responder. You can configure multiple rotation so that you can have multiple people on call at the same time. So you can see that until end of Sunday, Cassie is the on-call responder. From Monday on, it will be Emma, and then it will be myself from the 21st. What you can also see here is the escalation policy. So earlier you saw the Teams alert that was sent. And I mentioned that this can also be received through telephone or SMS. So normally the telephone and SMS will always go to the on-call user. So this means that now with this incident, Cassie would have received a call that there's a new incident. 5 minutes after, if he wouldn't have acknowledged it, it would go to the next user. So Emma would have received a notification instead. If after 10 minutes after creation, there was still no acknowledgement, then everybody in this rotation would have gotten a call until somebody acknowledges it. And in this case, after 60 minutes, if the alert is not closed, then the team leader for the platform support would get another notification. On this view, I can also see the historic alerts. Okay, going back to our incident. Another thing that you see here is the major incident flag. So in a case like this, where our billing engine is down, it might be something that is very critical to our operation. So what I can do is I can configure this one to be a major incident. Out of the box, this does two things. One, it flags the issue as major incident. And two, it makes the incident to show up in the major incident queue. So as a service manager, you can always see what's going on and what's important for look at. So what you can further do is you can perform automation and notification based on that so that you can get a huddle to get everybody together and inform the relevant people. The last part here that I want to show is the stakeholders. Stakeholder is something that is quite a new feature where you can add people that are not part of the team, like not part of the services team, but you can keep them informed. So for example, I want to add our service manager, Emma, to the class. And then I can keep her updated about the incident, even if she is not a part of the service desk. Okay, so let's get started to work on this incident. First of all, since it's a major incident, I will take ownership of this one since I'm the escalation manager. So I will assign the ticket to me, and then I will set the status to in progress. Since we're not sure yet what caused the outage, what I want to do is I want to have a meeting with some key responsibles. In the past, you would have had to go to your Teams or to Zoom or anything, and set up a new meeting, get a group chat together, make sure that everybody joins. What you can do here is you have a connection directly to this application. So for us, we're using Microsoft Teams. So I can just click here on create a chat. I'm selecting our tenant, and it will pre-fill everything. I can choose if it's a chat or a meeting. In this case, I want a meeting, and I can choose all the participants. Then I will create, and everybody will get an invite. Important is also that I can immediately join the meeting from here with just a click. So I would open this one now in our Teams, but since we're already in this meeting now, I will not continue to join. Okay, so how do I communicate with the customer or with my team? What I can do here is I can add activity notes. So for this, they're called comments. I have 3 different types. I have an internal note. This is how I can communicate to my team. I can reply to the customer, so the customer can see the update, and I can inform stakeholders. So let's inform the stakeholder first. Hi, we had a meeting and we found a possible cause. Will you update it? Yes, Marshall. Now everybody that you added as a stakeholder will get an email from me with the details of the incident and my note. Next, I will add an internal note because during our meeting, we figured out it might be the service is hanging. So we will try to restart the service. The service is hanging. We will restart it. And you can see it's an internal note. So the customer cannot see yet anything except that the status changed to work in progress. Lastly, I want to inform the customer that we found a root cause and that we're working on it. A very helpful feature here is the canned responses. This means you can predefine responses and the agent can just select them instead. So in this case, I created one for root case identified, and it will fill out the details like, hi reporter, we have identified the root cause, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, current user. If I click insert, then you will see it will automatically replace, and I can just click on save and it will send. If I go back to the user view now, you will see that there's a new comment added and the user will also get an email notification. So to resolve the issue now, we want to restart the service. But I'm not the one to restart the service. Somebody in the team will do it. So what I'm doing is, since I'm still responsible for this ticket, I'm going to create a subtask. Subtask means that it's a task that is related to this incident that somebody else can be assigned to. So I just say restart billing engine. Now I can assign this to somebody. This is a small Safari bug. So I can assign this now, and then they will work on it. After they are done, they will change the status to done, and I will be informed that this ticket is resolved. So I will get an email notification now that whoever was assigned restarted the billing engine, and they would maybe add a comment or ping me. So now I would resolve the ticket. I will change the workflow and inform the customer. We are done with this problem. Hi, Max. We have restarted the service. And the user will get a confirmation that this is done. The status changed to completed, and the user got a notification. You can even add another step where you ask the user then to verify and close. So you can add workflow transition here for the user. But in our case, we will just close it now. So when we are loading the page now, then you will see on the right side that all the SLAs are now recorded. So our time to resolution is met. Our time to first response is met. And time to close after resolution, which is another SLA, is also met. The user can now get another notification where you can ask for feedback, where they can provide a 5-star rating or 1-star rating and provide details about why they're giving this rating. And this will help you to improve. Okay, so we have resolved the incident now, but we are not done. For a major incident like this, we want to do a post-incident review. We want to know what happened, how did we resolve it, what was the timeline, and what can we learn for the future to improve. For this one, there's a built-in function to add the post-incident review. This will create a new record. So we had a billing engine outage on today is April 10. And it will provide a template that we can use to fill out the details. So what led to the incident? What was the identified fault? How was it detected? What was the root cause? What was the resolution? And what did we learn? You don't need to fill out everything immediately. You can just create the record first. You can assign it if you want, assign it to a team, and then create. Now, if you're loading the incident again, you can see that the ticket is linked, and we also see the status if it's already done. The same way, if you're going to the incident report, we can always trace back to our incident. Okay, so I wanted to show you a bit more in the backend. So what you saw is that the ticket was already automatically assigned when it was created. And you also saw that there was a notification that the ticket has been assigned to the on-call responder. How did I do this? It's done with automation. So Jira Service Management comes with an automation framework where you can simply create automation rules. It comes with quite a lot of templates already. So you can look here, and there's for a few use cases already available templates. Like here, you can assign an approver based on a request type. You can send a review form. There's too many to go through now. But you can also create your own. So if you're looking here, the one that I created, an automation rule contains several steps. First, there's always an event. So we want to know when is the event to be triggered. Then we can add condition. In this case, I only want to do this for system problems. And then we perform action. In this case, I have two actions. First, I'm assigning it to the on-call responder of the platform support. And I will also add a comment. So here you see where I'm tracing back to what I shown earlier. We are selecting the team and the schedule, and it will automatically look up who is on call and then assign to that person. And it's quite easy to set up. So if we say we want to have an automation that will send a notification if the SLA is about to breach, we can create a new one. Okay, we add a trigger. So you see there's quite a few options, but we want to look into the SLA threshold. The time to resolution will breach in 2 hours. Then we're adding a condition. We are checking for a field. We want to do this only for incidents. And then we're performing an action. Then you can simply turn on the rule, give it a name, and turn it on. This automation, they don't need to be so streamlined. They can be different. So you can do branching, so where you have different branches and then you branch out depending on field types to perform different action. So you can add quite a lot of complexity here, but it's a bit too much now for this presentation. Okay, so this was the demo part of this webinar, where we've shown how the incident's created, how the different connections are in place. By the way, if you're looking here now, you can also see that it's automatically informing me that the incident is closed. So the whole of the team is informed. Like I said earlier, today we focus on incident management, but Jira Service Management supports all the different practices. So we can also go into change management, problem management, and the activated in this project is service request management. Something about what I've shown now is, first of all, this is a feature that is only available in the cloud. In Jira Service Desk Data Center, most of the functionality is not available to this level. So only for the cloud, you can follow this workflow, get the alerts and the integration. Secondly, it is available from Jira Service Management Premium and Upfront. For Jira Service Management Standard, most of the features are not available yet or limited, like the automation has very few execution. Then let's go back to our presentation to look a bit in more features that we haven't covered yet. So first of all, I mentioned that there's other ways to do alerting. The alert that we had earlier, it was triggered by an incident. But we can also connect external tools like Zabbix or New Relic to send alerts. So this will help the IT team to have a single source of truth for alerts that they don't have to monitor different applications. For example, if the hard disk of the server is full, Zabbix can send an alert, and then the team will get a Teams notification, and an incident can be created. Another product that is quite cool is a status page. The status page is a standalone tool that can be connected to service management. So this is where you can make your system status public to either your users or the general public if you want to. And you can also highlight if there's any ongoing issues or scheduled downtimes. These updates, they can be done from the service agent in JSM. So they don't need to log into this application. They can file an incident for the service here in JSM. In this picture, you can see that there is an incident ongoing on the top. The mobile application cannot log in. And on the bottom, you see that there's a scheduled maintenance for the database upgrade. The viewers, they can subscribe to these updates to receive notifications whenever anything happens. So this will help you to reduce reported incidents for known issues. Because if they know something is going on, hopefully they don't file another incident for something that is already being worked on. JSM also comes with out-of-the-box reporting. So these show, for example, the health of the team, like the agent workload, but also compliance to your SLAs. There's also connectors available to tools like Tableau or Power BI if you rather would like to do your reporting there. The latest developments are the artificial intelligence features that Atlassian has built for their tools. These are very helpful feature is a very helpful feature is the option to summarize all activity. So basically, when you have a lot of comments, you can get a summary of all of this. So if you've ever been added to a ticket that has been running for a few weeks or months, then you know how complicated it is to go through every single comment and see what happened. So here you can get a summary of all the actions and decisions. Another AI feature is the user sentiment analysis. So we all know, especially since COVID, quite difficult to see how a user feels when you're not seeing them in person, when you're just writing or anything. So it's the close that we normally have for face-to-face conversation we cannot use. The user sentiment analysis will read through the responses of the user, and they will guess if they are in a positive or negative mode based on how they are writing. There's also an option to rephrase your content. So when you're an agent, you're sending a message, you can let AI rephrase it into, for example, more professional, more empathic, or make it shorter or longer. A relatively new feature is the Ops Guide, which can help you to resolve and summarize incidents. So it's like a virtual teammate that can provide solutions based on historic activity or on a knowledge base. It can also help you to create a post-incident review. So on the right side, you're seeing a post-incident review example where we are asking the Ops Guide to provide the review. And you can see that it's filling out a lot of details based on the information that we have given. We see who was working on it, what was the impact, what is the timeline, what was the fault that was identified. You can also ask it to help resolve incidents, and it will look into similar incidents that were done before and look into the resolution that were provided there. The last topic that we haven't covered live today is the virtual agent. So for the virtual agent, you can define custom flows, also called intents, to help the user resolve issues without manual intervention. So let's see one example flow here. The user asks how many annual days of leave does he have left, and the bot will load the details and will go back to the user. And then you see in the chat that the user will actually ask if he can file annual leave and say how many days, and then it will automatically send a request to Workday to file the request for the manager approval. So Workday is just one example, but there's quite a wide range of connections available to external tools where you can automate your service requests. So while this is more focused on service request management, the virtual agent also has access to the knowledge base. So it can suggest workaround and possible resolutions to the user. And a very important update was done yesterday on the team conference all the AI features, they are now part of the subscription. So last year, Atlassian announced that this will be a paid edition. But yesterday they announced that as long as you have a premium or enterprise version, you will get all the AI features, including Rovo, free of charge. So there are more AI features available, which I can share with you if you're interested later. But one very important thing for this AI features is it is AI. So I guess everyone has worked with ChatGPT or Gemini. There is still sometimes where the AI comes up with solutions that are, well, not proper. So you need to double check whatever it generates to see that there's no hallucination or any changes to the fact. All right, let's come to the last part of this webinar, which is the Opsgenie phase out. So if you're currently using Opsgenie, then you already know some of the features that we've shown today. But Atlassian has announced in March that Opsgenie will be discontinued. So why is it discontinued? I mean, you've seen just now, they want it to be as easy as possible for the services agent to work on a ticket. So they have transferred all of the features from Opsgenie into JSM and Compass. So there's now one integrated solution instead of having to use different tools, switching platforms. And the most important feature is that with that, you can also directly integrate with the development teams. There are two key dates for this, which is the June 4th end of sale. So this is this month, in 2 months. This means there will be no more Opsgenie and you will only be able to get JSM standalone. And then in April 2027, the Opsgenie servers will be shut down. There is an automatic migration part or semi-automatic migration part. So most of the data can be automated, but there are configurations that must be manually transferred. If you're looking to migrate from Opsgenie to JSM, let us know and we will help you. Okay, then yeah, do we have any questions? We have two. We have, yeah. Okay, the first example is can show again how the incident alert comes and we assign it to the relevant team. Thank you. All right, we can do that. So for this, I will create a new incident. I will just give it some test data now. And then I click on send. How this happened is in the back, we have configured an automation. So if we look here, the alert is triggered automatically and then forwarded to Teams. If we want to edit this, you need to go to Compass. I need to quickly check where this was done. The integration there. Okay, so as the product administrator, you can configure, first of all, connect to Teams. So in our case, we are connected to our tenant, and then you can define integration. So here for our Teams notification, what I have done is I have configured, first of all, the content, and then we can alert define filters. So here, I can add filters. Okay. So I can get filters here where I say that which alert goes to which team. If I go to the main integration for the emails, then we can see some samples here. So when we create an alert, I disable this because I want to check for description. And then I can have different patterns here to connect. So you can define different filters so that it can go to different Teams channels for your notification. And then it will be automatically added to Teams or Slack or whichever you're using. And then you can assign. You can assign to me, or I can assign to somebody else by using their email address. I can update the priority. I can add a note. And then I can assign it. Important is that this is the assignment to the alert, not to the incident. Okay. Then, yeah, this is for the alerting. There are a bit more complex configurations available. If you're interested to learn more, you can drop us a message after the webinar. Then there's another question about the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is managed in Confluence. So if you look there, I go to the configuration of the project. Then you can map your space to different Confluence pages. So here, so in the administration, I can link. So I can say here that in my case, I have IT support is my space. I can say who can view it. I can make it available to anybody if I have the permissions. And I can say for which request type do I allow suggestion. And I can even do things like filtering. So for example, for system problem, I can add a label system, which will not work because I don't have any labels, but you can basically restrict like this of what content will be displayed. And to see the content, how it is managed, we can switch to Confluence. We have our IT support space. And this is where we have our content. And you can simply create new content with what you see is what you get editor, where there's also templates available like troubleshooting article, where it will pre-fill some data, and then you can just fill out the details. Also, as an agent, you can create new articles directly from the Jira. So let's say you found out something new, you can click on create article, and it will open the editor for you, where you can then provide the details, load the template. The licensing, there is a basic license for Confluence included with JSM. And the most important thing is you don't need a license for your customers. You only need a license for those who are creating knowledge base articles. You can make it available to everybody with a customer. So it's same for JSM. Your customer doesn't need a license. So even when you have a 10 people team, you need a 10 user license and you can serve 10,000 customers if you're able to serve all of them. We can have a chat after to the one who asked the question. Then we can give you some examples about this. Okay. There was another question for the workflow for this integration. Can you provide more details about this? you can just add another question to provide more details. Okay, if you still have this question, our team will reach out to you, and then you can bring it up with our team, and then we can have a session to follow up about this workflow topic. For now, since we are almost about closing time, yeah, that's all of the webinar. Like I said, our team will reach out to you after to get some more feedback. How did you like it? What is the content that you are missing? Any additional questions that you have? And meanwhile, you can learn more about us at www.esolutions.com and also on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube pages. Don't worry about the links. You will get them later in the email. All right. Then thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. I hope you learned something new. And like I said, it was very basic. If you would like to learn more, let us know. And we're happy to have a one-on-one session with you to provide more in-depth look into features, maybe ask some question about the process, how it can map. And then I hope we hear again. And I wish you a good day or good evening.